welcome to ET ROG Ally is going to launch in a few days, and last week there was a stream on their official channel talking about some teardown, and actually during that stream they also talk about the possibility of modding the device and some other secret features that we may not notice or we may not know. So in this video we are going to look at the digest of that stream and take a look at a few questions that we may have frequently and some more possibility on modding. So without further saying, let's go into the video. What is the optical sensor on the Ally?
You see this thing here on the right side? So
Mhm.
this is a optical sensor, and what it does is as soon as you open the device, it knows that the device is open, and then it powers the system off. So it powers Ally off. And if Ally is running and you disassemble it, it will then shut down the system. This is out of a precaution just to make sure, if somebody wants to upgrade the SSD and they maybe don't really know that you should turn off the device, or maybe they forgot that the device is just in sleep mode and isn't actually powered off, and they forget to unplug the battery, just out of pure precaution, the system will turn itself off. We have the same on our 2023 laptops. Pretty neat. I think most people know that they should turn off the system, make sure it's powered off, and remove the battery, but if they don't, this is a pretty neat thing.
How easy it is to upgrade the SSD on ROG Ally?
So one thing I do want to call out, if you do remove the SSD, a lot of people have been asking about how to reinstall Windows. Do you need to clone the drive? Do you need to install Windows fresh from a USB? No. In fact, once you're done replacing that SSD, you hold the volume down button, power your Ally on. It will go straight into the BIOS, and you can just scroll over to our Asus Cloud Recovery option in the BIOS. Start that, and it will freshly image the device for you with all of the drivers and Armory Crate and all of that stuff intact. Really, really nice. Automatically. It's super smooth. I've already done it twice.
Can we upgrade the battery on ROG Ally?
Gradable battery. The battery is not held in by glue or anything like that. You'll see Sasha kind of take it out probably next. But, you can't, unless someone makes a battery to upgrade it with, you can't just you can't. Yes, you could theoretically upgrade it if a battery existed, but that, as far as I know, that doesn't currently exist. Yeah, I would have to have the same connector. So the battery is not soldered in place; it's just screwed in. But that that would have to exist first, and obviously that's where you start getting into we don't make another battery. That's outside of our purview.
Why is the battery on ROG Ally look like this?
And so some people ask, the shape is a bit odd, right? What's with the shape? So the reason we did it this way is this allows us to quick charge it because it's actually 2 battery cells. And also it helps us to balance the weight because the battery is one of the heaviest things in the device. And you really want a nice weight balance when you're holding it and you're playing games on it, right? You want it to be really heavy on the left side and you're always leaning down. So yeah, that's the story behind that. And it's not just a wet cell pack, which you see a lot of times in phones and other stuff, where it's basically, you can just puncture it on the outside and that's it. Your battery cell is done. This one actually has a hard cover. So it actually has a hard protective plastic casing around it, which helps protect the battery. Still, do not try to poke it and puncture it.
Will there be a black version of ROG Ally?
We have nothing to announce generally here. We're just taking a look at what's inside what we've already announced.
If we haven't announced it, we can't answer, we can't tell you about it on this stream. That's a general rule, is if you're asking us about something that hasn't been announced, our answer is.
But the only follow-up I will give is we hear you, right? We see those comments everywhere. We hear you loud and clear. And that's all I can say is that.
Will there be skins for ROG Ally?
There are ways of doing that.
I don't think Dbrand is not making skins though for the Ally, they said.
Is it possible to add Hall sensor joystick to ROG Ally?
And so this Hall effect sensor here, this is very close to the joystick itself, and that is why adding a Hall effect joystick is something that we did not do, because there would be interference between those two.
Would be or could be.
That's something that a lot of people ask about. There would be. I've actually tried it, and I've seen it. So yeah, there is unfortunately some interference. There may be ways around it, but it's not as straightforward. So in case people ask, why didn't we do that for the joysticks? We did it for the triggers, and then that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I know there are a lot of questions from people asking like, "Oh, can I like put Hall effect joysticks in this?" Like, first someone would have to make them, and like and you would have to figure out a way around that interference. And I'm sure that the community will come up with something cool, hopefully. But that's why we didn't use them out of the gate. We wanted to use the Hall effects on the triggers.
Is it possible to replace the thumbstick on ROG Ally?
Yes, yeah, you absolutely can. And where's the daughter board? Here. So you can remove it. There's two screws. There's one screw on this side and one screw on this side, and this is a flexible PCB thing, and it's kind of like a standard thing. So yeah, you can replace these. And I think the ones from the Nintendo Switch, I don't want to say something wrong, but I think they're about the same dimensions, or they would fit, but I'm not 100% sure.
Is the screen on ROG Ally replaceable?
That is the hardest part to do. It is possible, but that's the hardest part to do. So this is the display connector right here that goes from the motherboard. So again, flip it up, you go, and then you can just gently wiggle it up. There you go. Yeah, that would be the hardest part to do, because the panel is connected to the faceplate, and that's not an easy thing to replace. You can definitely do it. I'm sure, if you have a heat gun and everything, you can remove the cover glass and remove the panel, but that would be
It just
tricky.
becomes a much.
Is the shell on ROG Ally replaceable?
You would need someone to make a shell that replaces it.
Yeah.
You replacing the back shell would probably be really, really easy if someone manufactured something that would fit.
Relatively, yeah.
But the front is going to be a lot more difficult because of the way that display is attached.
I don't think so. No, I think it's soldered on. Yeah, that one is soldered on.
So Wi-Fi, but it's Wi-Fi 6 though. So I mean, like you're in good hands.
Is the rubber membrane of the buttons on ROG Ally replaceable?
And yeah, you can swap this out. If in the future, I hope so, a third party will maybe do a different type of rubber membrane. Maybe something that is softer, maybe something that is harder and snappier, or
so people can
different
customize
types.
However they want.
Yeah, so you can customize how it feels, and I don't think it's too different from other gamepads or handhelds. So depending on the dimensions, you may be able to just get a piece from a different kind of device and put it on there.
Are the front buttons of ROG Ally replaceable?
Can you replace the front buttons? The front buttons do come out, as far as I know, but again, someone would have to make compatible front buttons.
You mean like the plastic keycaps?
Yeah, the ABXY buttons, the face buttons.
Yes.
Can ROG Allies use third-party hub for charging and HDMI output?
Yep.
Yes, and I found one that actually lets you use 3 external monitors at the same time and charge the device.
Can the RGB lights respond to the AuraSync compatible games?
Yes, the RGB on the thumbsticks is AuraSync. So if you have an AuraSync compatible game like Ghost Runner or something like that, you can, as long as you turn on AuraSync and you turn on that feature in Armory Crate, just like on our laptops, the lighting will sync to your game. In fact, that's my favorite feature of that RGB. That's what's so cool about that.
Are the rubber membranes of the buttons on ROG Ally replaceable?
Yes, you can remap buttons in Armory Crate for your games as well. In fact, you can remap them on a game-by-game basis. So if you're in Armory Crate, you're in your game library. If you select a game and press X, you can remap buttons just for that game. You can customize the trigger sensitivity for that game. You can customize the vibration intensity for that game only. The other cool thing is that inside the game profiles, you can customize what performance mode or operating mode you want that game to launch with on battery or plugged in. So like when I play Dead Cells on battery, I can play that game in the like 9 or 10 watt silent mode. I don't need it to run in turbo. So I can set it to automatically put the Ally in silent mode when I launch Dead Cells and have it automatically use turbo mode when I launch Forza Horizon 5. That's a really, like, all of that stuff is customizable on a game by game basis.
Can we change the sensitivity of joysticks and triggers on ROG Ally?
There you go. See?
So this is just for a specific game. If I wanted to change the sticks, change this, say I'm playing a fighter and I want a tighter dead zone, I can do that for that specific fighting game. Or if I want the triggers to be a little bit shorter or, a little bit less depth for a specific shooter, I want it to just bring this down so I can kind of have fatter fingers.
So that's pretty much about the valuable answers that we can find from this stream, and I hope this information will help you in the future when you receive your ROG Ally. So that's pretty much about this video, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!